Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals for July the 9th, 2025. Will you call the roll, please?
Nathan Sheets,
Here?
Jeff Cook,
Here.
Rob Tidrow.
Here.
Folks, we do have a quorum tonight, but since there's only three of us, it does take a unanimous vote in either a nay or yay to pass. And if we get to something that is not unanimous, then Kim will explain the rules moving forward from that and any of the petitions we have before us tonight. If y'all would stand and we'll cite the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In our packets, we have the minutes from last month's meeting. If there's no changes or clarifications that need to be made, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 We have proof of publication for tonight.
Yes, thank you. This notice was published in advance. It states the time, date, place, and items on the agenda for this hearing tonight. I would ask the board to make a motion to accept the proof of publication.
Your motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the proof of publication.
I'll second.
Motion is second to approve proof of publication. All in favor, say aye. New business, BZA 9-2025, the petition of Tarmino, and I apologize if I messed your name up.
You did pretty good.
Am I close?
Yeah, Taramino, yep.
Jeremy.
So basically, I prepared this, but I gave it to you, but I'd like to read it.
Sure.
And then any of the theories that were going around, we can debunk them. My name is Ken Taramino. I'm the owner of Richmond Pools and Spas, located right here in Richmond. I'm here tonight to respectfully request a variance to allow an above-ground pool display in front of my commercial property. And it's probably not going to be this year. It's probably going to be like spring before I do it. It's kind of late in the year because I wanted to take it down in August. So we got a late going, but I want to make sure that we're ahead of the game. All right, just to go the consistency with other local businesses, you may have seen across town, many businesses already display their core products in front of their buildings without needing special permissions or variances. These include monument stores with headstones out front, sheds and portable building dealers, car dealers, discount realtors, real retailers like Dollar General, big box stores like Lowe's, Ollie's, Tractor Supply, and all we are asking for is an equal opportunity to do the same by showing the very product that we specialize in. I've had, and just to reiterate on that, I've had a lot of people that want to see the product, see it up, and I don't want to send them to people's houses. Okay, they can go to people's houses, but I don't want to bother my customers with that when they can see it right there. And it's just going to be a small above-ground pool. Just to get the idea. Anyways, purpose of display: the pool display is strictly for demonstration and marketing purposes, not for recreation. It would be filled with water and actively filtered, used to demonstrate the filtration system, robotic cleaners, the non-chemical treatments that I use. It'll be fenced in professionally, installed for safety and appearance. And importantly, it will have no stairs or ladder in or out of the pool to ensure no one can enter it into the pool. It's not meant to be swimming, just seen and understood by customers considering a backyard pool. This display will also be positioned so it doesn't block visibility or interfere with any traffic entering or leaving the property. Business-specific relevance: just like cars are displayed in dealerships, sheds are placed out in front of the shed stores. It makes sense for a pool business to display a pool. You can't fully understand our product or its quality from a brochure. Customers need to see it, walk around it, and visualize it in their backyard. Community and economic value: Richmond Pools is locally owned small business, and we proudly serve hundreds of local families. The pool display will help generate interest, increase foot traffic, and ultimately grow our business, keeping money and jobs here in Richmond and employing people in Richmond, because I am actively looking for help. I want to be a good neighbor and a good business partner within the city. I'm more than willing to work with the city staff on seasonal limits, appearance guidelines, setbacks adjustments, or any other reasonable conditions. Conclusion, I'm asking for a chance to do what many other businesses are already allowed to do, display our main product in a professional, clean, and safe way. This display helps customers, helps my business, and contributes positively to our community small business landscape. I respectfully ask for your support in approving this variance. Thank you.
Questions of the petitioner?
I have a question,
Please.
Mr. President. It's putting a swimming pool up in your parking lot or as a display is there anything against that? Or is it against some other articles that we're looking at?
Yeah, so specifically, this is a variance request for some of our parking requirements or parking lot requirements. So specifically, blocking sidewalks or driveways, and then all parking aisles shall have an outlet to turn around, so it kind of blocks that. But as Mr. Terramino noted, he is in a zoning district that does permit outdoor inventory display, so that's not the issue here.
Okay.
I think the issue here is more that it's a smaller lot that has difficulty accommodating that.
And another question. I know we have a picture here of, where exactly would you put the pool? We have some,
Basically, right there, and see that line right there? That was the fence, the outside line, and the circle right there in the corner in the front of the building. That's where I wanted to put it. I have a sauna sitting right there right now.
right,
And if you know, there were some issues with the fire department and the police department saying that, they were worried about somebody hitting the pool or anything. Well, I've went ahead and bought block barriers and put them down along Richmond, Indiana, because personally, my dog almost got killed out there in the parking lot because somebody decided to cut the corner and drive through the parking lot. So that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put a barrier,
yeah, I saw the very,
a
around the Richmond
barrier
Avenue.
wall right down there to the dump, on this side where the cars are right there. Yeah, and I'm gonna put a gate on the end of it, so the cars still eventually, once in a while, drive through there like a shortcut.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, and they already gave me, said it was okay if I put a fence up behind the property.
Okay. Oh,
I don't like the foot traffic that goes around through there, but I think the area's, I'm getting cleaned up quite a bit. And I talked to one of the local police officers, I built the pool for his mother out in Cambridge City, and he said that the area seems a lot better lately, and less activity, especially in the trailer park behind me.
well, this would block sidewalks?
Nope. It's really not blocking
All right.
anything on the property. It's close to the
Accessibility
building.
ramps?
If you see
Okay,
out there, there's a driveway. There's an aisle in there, but
Right.
but you can drive in front of it.
all right.
And to be honest with you, there's no more than two, three people. I think one time in that store, I don't need that many parking spaces to be directly. I've seen 2 or 3 people there at the most in one day.
Right.
But when they do come, it'd be nice to have a pool to show them.
Sure. So I guess I'm just a little unclear what we're doing here. So if you explain what the city has an issue with this, is it the size of the lot?
Is the size of the lot.
And with that included, it would take away from the size of the parking lot?
Right, and there is an entrance, like he said, on the north side and on the south side, and even down on Indiana Avenue. But if the pool's there, you're not gonna be able to go in either of the Northwest Fifth.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to go through.
Yeah, well, if I take that temporary sign I've got up there out, they'll be able to drive right through there. Because I'm gonna put that sign back on the original pole that was there.
Well, there's also it used to be a gas station.
Right.
And that
That
little
aisle.
area is still there, so that would also interfere with
Okay.
parking going through.
Well,
And if the
it's
pool is
kind of
there.
drive up on both sides like this. So if they're gonna drive through, they can drive right around the front like that. I still need to leave that open for trucks when they pull in to drop off supplies and stuff. But I don't see a traffic issue because I've had those blocks up I've had those blocks up for over a month. And I've also had the barrel sauna right where the pool would go. It's an $8,000 barrel sauna. I don't want them to run into it, and they haven't ran into it. So, I mean, it's not been an issue there at all.
And the barrel's not. What's the barrel for? What's that?
That
Typically?
barrel sauna's a display.
Is it a hot tub or is it
It's a sauna. You get in it and you sweat,
Oh, okay.
like a sweat lodge with Indians, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't have water or anything in it, right?
No, that doesn't. I just put that there just to, because last time I came, when they read something about it and changed it, they said something about or I was reading in the papers that I got, something about, they said, we're worried about the drive-through, if somebody came through with a car and hit it, or something like that, and that's just not
Okay,
expectation that I had, so.
thank you. That's all I have right now.
So I've got a couple of questions. I asked Dustin to draw a red line approximately the 18 feet that he put in up there before we got started tonight. Is that the location of the pool? Your display pool? Can you see that?
It's that way more.
Which way? Top,
It's like
bottom?
half in front of the building, half away from the building. See right in that corner where that white truck is? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's not coming out. It's only 18 foot. It's only, if you take the whole total square footage of the pool, it's like 239 square feet of land I'm using to put the pool up.
So I drive a full-size truck. And with the way you've got your lot configured now, my understanding is there's no entrance off of Indiana Avenue, correct?
Well, there is one, I'm gonna put a gate on it.
Okay.
Down the other side.
So there won't be an entrance?
No.
Okay.
I,
Then if I pulled in off of Northwest Fifth into your lot, I would park approximately where that white vehicle is up there at the top. And,
On the north side, yeah.
yeah, clear to the north side. And
if you pull in there with this, let's see. Try to stick. You still got, right, you see where the two island markers are?
yes,
Okay, you can't see it with the lights, but right there's a drive-through. Right
Okay.
there in front is a drive-through. Over, right, down, this way. Basically.
right.
No, up. Okay, go up. Right there's a drive-through, that's a drive-through. So you can drive from that side of the parking lot to the other side of the parking lot. There's entrances on both sides, so if somebody wanted to drive through and drive out, or park over there and drive out, they can.
Without backing out on the Northwest Fifth?
No, I do it all the time. I drive a Dodge Ram truck that has a long bed and 4 doors, and I back up all the time and pull out on the highway because I park there. I park right up against the garage doors sometimes. And if you can park my big truck there, believe me, I can't get into a parking space, but I can turn it around there.
I take two wherever I go.
Yeah.
So the pool does concern me from a safety aspect, because in your statement, you say it's gonna be full of water. How deep is the pool?
46 inches of water, usually by the time it's built, when it's built.
How tall is the fence that's gonna surround that?
4 foot. Now, on a 48-inch pool, 46-inch deep pool, the walls are 52-inch. The top rail is a little higher than that. So it's right around, all said and done, 54 to 56 inches high. It's not something you can jump over. I mean, you could, but then you could have a problem with getting out of it, you know? I don't foresee a problem with somebody getting in there. I mean, it just, a lot of communities don't even require a fence for an above-ground pool if the steps that go into it lock up. So the fence is just added security. And if you give me permission, I put a 5-foot fence up around there. That's totally up to you. But 4 foot was what they basically, you know, said you had to have in the front, so.
I have another question.
Sure.
So once you get that built and you put the fence in, how big is your parking lot then for actually using, actually parking in? So right now, it's below the required standard, but
I think she said it was 15,000 square feet. Once I put the pool in, I'm not gonna lose but 2 parking spaces at the most.
so you don't know right now how much space you're gonna have once you put the,
Well, I know that the pool only
Pool
takes
in.
up 230 square feet. If you add the fence into it, it's probably gonna be a total of 400 or 500 square feet. And the average car parks on a parking spot, 200 square feet,
okay.
so 2.5 car spaces
What's the total space then you're gonna have for parking
for parking.
after?
That's-
That's the ordinance we're looking at, right, is the,
Yeah. You can park 6 cars over there and another 10 cars on the other side if you needed to, so you can park 16 cars there. That lot will actually hold 30 cars if it was a retail car lot.
I would just point out, in our parking standards, I mean, there are several other standards that aren't included in the ordinance, but things like aisle widths, one lane should be 18 feet. So, I mean, the parking lot is already non-conforming as far as the number of spaces that it can accommodate and the width of the aisles. So, similar, to Jeff's questions about maneuvering, I think that there's certain standards to be able to maneuver in and out and turning radiuses and that kind of thing that this lot already fails to satisfy. And I think that that is primarily the source of staff's opposition to adding a pool to the middle of the parking lot.
The space that I'm using, I don't want cars driving through there. That means they're driving right up against my building. So I'm not, I would be more than happy to have people than just cruising by my front window where I'm sitting, so.
But there are also minimum parking requirements for the commercial.
What is the minimum required parking requirements for a 1,300 square foot building?
Well, it depends on the use. And so I think just kind of if we say that this is, we'll say low intensity retail, just kind of off the top of our heads, it's 1 space per 300 square feet of floor area. And then that is also supposed to be striped and arrowed and that,
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, but I wanted to get the asphalt redone before I did that because it's getting chewed up from grass growing in it for so many years and the building not being maintained. I think I took a pig in the poke and made it look fairly decent down there in that area. So,
I would agree with that. You've cleaned up the property very well from what it
Yes.
used to be. And
I mean,
I applaud that effort.
yeah,
And I think I understand, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. Where you've decided to put the pool right out there in front is to get the best bang for your buck, so to speak, on drive-by traffic, correct?
right.
And so if we move forward with approving this and we were to say, just a suggestion, thought, that it went to the north side of the property versus right out there on the corner, so that it's less traffic-verse, if you will. You would,
You're talking more.
where that white truck's parked up there at the top. Yeah.
That would be fine with me as long as I can get access to the garage door. Yeah, the biggest thing was they were worried about setbacks originally. So much feet from this side, so much feet from that, where in a residential area, they only need 5 or 10 feet. They were worried about that, so that's why I put it there.
Sure, but, I mean, overall, the size of the lot is part of the variance to allow outdoor commercial displays.
Actually, I would prefer it over there, to be honest with you.
As Dustin pointed out to us, the lot's already non-conforming, even in the condition that it's in, even for, I think you said light general commercial,
It's outdoor commercial.
outdoor commercial. Can you move one of your 18-foot sticks up there by that truck for me? by access to the overhead door, is that to move stuff in and out? So
I've got two doors there, so, I mean, I can switch them up and use the other door. Yeah, hot tubs and stuff like that. After they're on display for so long, I discount them and sell them out, so we move them in and out. So if I put the pool over there in front of that other door, I can still have access to the other door.
I'm just making an opinion, not of the board, of my own. Having it there alleviates probably some of the traffic concerns. People jetting through, as you pointed out, cutting across your corner and whacking the pool and all that other stuff. Just an opinion.
I don't mind doing that. The only reason I put the pool where I had it, well, basically, it's close to the electric, but that corner, I just thought it would be good. I didn't want traffic driving through there, but the setbacks, I had to be so far from this side, so far from that side, so far from the back, so far from the front.
That's also one of the variances that we would have to grant would be to alleviate some of the setback requirements, correct?
Because the outdoor commercial zoning district is intended for this kind of outdoor inventory, it would only need to be 5 feet off the property line, so,
That conform, it looks like.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't think that setbacks would be an issue in this
Okay.
case.
I don't have any further questions. Anybody else?
I have a question about the fence around the pool. So we put the pool there or wherever, how close to the pool, or how far away from the pool does the fence have to be? Or can the fence be right on next to the surface of the,
It can be within a foot.
if I go over the fence?
It can be
I go
within
right
a
in the
foot.
pool?
It can be within a foot, but to be honest, I want it a little bit more because I'm just gonna have artificial turf put around there and make it look nice, you know?
So there's no requirement to have a space between the fence and the pool, right? Okay.
I would suggest having a space, just,
Yeah, just a little bit to keep them from jumping, you know, a couple feet so they can't go over the fence and into the pool.
a long, long time ago, I was a young kid, and a 4-foot fence wouldn't stop me to jump into a 5-foot pool for nothing, so.
Yeah. Me too.
I wouldn't have thought about trying to get back out until after the problem, right?
Yeah, I can understand that. I've been there. Yeah. Like I said, I do want to put some artificial turf there so it looks good, you know, just to decorate it up. I'm not trying to create an eyesore. I'm trying to promote my business. So believe me, it's going to look nice.
So the standards for a pool, the fence, is it only 4 foot in the ordinance for an outdoor pool?
I believe it is 4 feet, yeah.
Right-of-way layer,
The
where the
purple line here.
right-of-way is, like the purple line.
Lines, right?
Yeah. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't, okay.
When you turn that layer on, Dustin, is it still, setback still okay?
Yeah, it looks like the right-of-way line and the
Yeah.
property line are the same.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Not at this moment. Not at this moment. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Do you have other information you want to share?
Well, the other thing is,
I don't want to cut you short.
a pool not filled with water, putting it up without water is not strong. It would blow away. Pools get their strength from water, so That's one of the reasons it has to be filled, unless, unless they built it into the building and backsprayed it with foam, to give it support, and it just wouldn't look the way I want it to look. So, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open up public hearing for anybody that wishes to speak in favor or opposition of this petition. Hearing or seeing none, come forward. We'll close public hearing. Here's staff report.
Thank you. Kenneth Taramino of Richmond Pools owner, Kenneth Taramino agent, location 800 Northwest 5th in Richmond, requesting a variance of development standards to allow an outdoor display of a swimming pool in the outdoor commercial district. It's zoned outdoor commercial. The lot size is 12,283.9 square feet, 0.282 acres. The zoning in all directions is outdoor commercial. The land use to the north is residential, a trailer court. To the south is commercial vacant lot. To the east, commercial car lot. And to the west is a residential trailer court. Outdoor commercial, outdoor display area, Article 5.56, accessibility. An outdoor display area shall not block any sidewalk, accessibility ramp, or driveway. Article 5.66, outdoor commercial parking standards. Aisle exits, all parking aisles shall have an outlet or a turnaround. Dead-end parking aisles shall not be permitted. Maneuvering, parking areas shall be designed to prevent vehicles from maneuvering into the right-of-way. The proposed variance would allow a screened swimming pool display with water to be installed in the front parking lot. On June 25th, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News. On June 26th, 17 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance by mail, and I believe we got a few responses.
Bob Snively, 911 Northwest 5th Street, in favor. Rhonda Christopher, 528 Indiana Avenue, opposed with comments. A swimming pool would be dangerous at the location of 800 Northwest 5th. A pool would hinder vision both entering Northwest 5th and Indiana Avenue. Even with fencing, if there is to be water in it, the pool there is a lot of foot traffic in the area. It would be a temptation to try to enter the pool, resulting in injury or even death.
Thank you. The planning staff consulted with all city departments and utilities to determine any objections based on the public health and safety. The Richmond Police Department Traffic Division has raised some safety concerns regarding the proposed parking lot and outdoor display. Given the neighborhood's history of vandalism and high pedestrian activity, a swimming pool could unfortunately become a target for damage. Additionally, RPD expressed concerns about the parking lot's design with two entrances on Northwest 5th Street and a large open entrance on the Indiana Avenue side poses a risk. Even with the planned fence, vehicles entering from Indiana Avenue could potentially drive directly into the display area. Staff recommends denying the petition to allow an 18-foot swimming pool to be built as an outdoor display in the outdoor commercial zoning district upon these findings of facts. Number one, the approval of the variance will be injurious to the public safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the proposed outdoor display swimming pool will be 18 foot in diameter and 4 foot in height and will contain water. Such a display could become an attractive nuisance, potentially drawing unsupervised children and adults to the property, especially after hours when the property is unsupervised. Given the presence of water in a publicly accessible outdoor area could be catastrophic outcome due to the proximity of the property's entrance and the risk of being hit by a vehicle. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the outdoor commercial development standards require lots to be at least 25,000 square feet. This particular property has a lot size of 12,283 square feet and situated on a corner lot, which technically has two front yards with 40 feet setbacks. An accessory structure such as a swimming pool used as an outdoor display does not meet the required standards and could be potentially be perceived negatively by those passing by. Number 3, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because the strict application of the ordinance drastically reduces the property's ability to have any kind of outdoor display as the lot is less than half the minimum lot size in the outdoor commercial district. We do have one written commitment. If approved, the swimming pool must adhere to all screening and safety standards that we require for a typical residential or commercial swimming pool. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have cameras.
If you would come back to the mic.
I have a security system with ASI, and I have cameras all the way around. And believe me, if I have the pool there, the camera's gonna be focused on the pool. If there's anybody even near there, it's gonna alert me. I've already talked to ASI about that, and they can monitor that. It's just, I don't want any liability either. I don't want somebody getting hurt or die. It's on me, you know, and I've got a lot to lose, so.
So I have a follow-up question on that statement. So if you were alerted at 9 o'clock tonight, how long would it take you to respond on scene?
My son lives 4/10 of a mile away,
Okay, so pretty quick.
and I live on South 13th Street, so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Questions to staff?
I have a question. I still go
I
back,
do too.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I still go back to what we're trying to apply a variance for. If I don't have a property there, but if, let's say I have a property someplace else that has the 25,000 square feet, can I put a pool up in my display that's full with water that has a fence around it and not violate any ordinances?
Yes.
I have an issue with the filled pool being there as far as safety concerns, yes, but I don't think that's what we're applying the variance for, correct? We're actually applying it for how much this is encroaching on the parking.
Correct. And the way the parking is, you know, you just can't go around. You can't go in and you can't
Right.
go out. You have to go in and then back out.
That's
There's a
actually
lot-
a bad view, excuse me, that's actually a bad view because there's cars in there like displayed on a car lot. That's a bad way to look at it because, but I haven't had no traffic problems, even since I put the barricade up or the barrel sign in the way. Not even been an issue.
Right, so it's-
I didn't,
you know, one of the things we're trying to eliminate is backing into Northwest Fifth Street.
Right.
Correct?
yeah,
And let's say we have the pool where you want to put it. Someone parks where that white truck is on the north, plus I've got somebody parked in front of the old gas pumps, maybe 2 or 3 there. The lot's full because you're busy. I would not be able to back into those spots to get out on Northwest Fifth without backing into Northwest Fifth, correct?
Correct.
yeah, but it's like, I don't usually have that much traffic. I mean, that'd be an overflow. It'd be a very rare occasion.
Sure, but that's a possibility. Or I just, park-
And-
I usually have 2 customers, one there. I
Yeah.
would still have to back out in Northwest. I have an issue with it being a swimming pool in there, but we also have swimming pools around us, you know, the city and so forth that people own, you know, and kids can, or anybody can jump into if they want, but after they climb the fence. But we're talking about the parking standards, right? That's what we're,
That's the safety.
That's-
The safety issue
Okay.
that
It's going up in early April and coming down in late August, so it's not gonna be there full time.
So Joanne, if, from what I read in the staff report, the concern is where he proposed the pool.
Yes, because you just couldn't, you know, go in one driveway and come out the other, because
So-
if you did, you would.
If we amend the written commitments, and Mr. Termino agreed that moving it to where the white truck is not out of the question, does that not alleviate some of those concerns?
Well, like Rob said, you know, where the white truck is, you're still going to have to back out onto Northwest Fifth.
The pool would be there, and if I parked beside the pool and the fence, then I could back up a little bit,
Back
turn
up a
left,
little bit,
and
and
go
then you could
south.
turn around, yeah, or go out the other entrance on this side,
Yeah.
the south end.
And like, that's fine with me, and it saves me one side of the fence, because I can put the fence up to the building there.
so on the north and the south of that pool, if we did it up there, the fence would be, the total area would be 18 feet And let's say we want 2 feet buffer between the pool and the
Yeah.
fence on each side, so that's 18 plus 4 feet, right? 22
22
feet. So how far would that encroach on the east side, closest to Northwest Fifth? Would that,
There's not gonna be a problem if they drive in, they'll be able to drive through either side
I know,
of the
but-
thing. And as far as parking, they'll be able to.
How close
they
would that
should
be to
able
the-
pull right up to the fence and
how
park.
close would that be to the street? Saying.
There's a wide sidewalk before you get the cracked up pavement.
There's gonna-
Is the street.
Right,
Then
so
there's
it'd be
a
on,
wide
would it be on the sidewalk, or would it encroach on the sidewalk?
No,
Well, I had a 22-foot trailer there and my truck, and it butted the sidewalk, so there's plenty of room.
Okay,
I would just note that the outdoor display area standards say that driving aisles and customer parking areas shall not be impeded or used for the display of merchandise. So if we are kind of removing this northernmost part and saying that this is not driving aisle or parking lot, you're taking an already non-conforming parking lot and further reducing the size and ability to accommodate the required parking.
I appreciate his comments here on the notes that you sent. Some of the other stores, that you mentioned, Lowe's, Dollar General, Tractor Supply, Ollie's, a lot of times they display them on the sidewalk or up against they're
Yeah.
not in the parking lot per se. Even Lowe's is kind of a setback. I'm not sure what that was, a loading zone. I don't know what was
Well,
originally,
originally, it
but,
was all about setbacks. It wasn't,
Oh.
I couldn't move the pool over to that side of the building, and the manufacturer that I have only manufactures that brand of pool in an 18-foot.
Sure.
I've asked them to see if they could give me the same pool in a 15-foot, and I'm sure they probably can if I push the issue,
Sure.
even reducing it, but having a pool up there, it's just, people can see it, see the quality of it, know that, that's what's gonna be put up in their backyard,
right.
you know?
So he puts the pool there, would there be enough for the setback? Is he still within those setback requirements?
The other reason
Other
Yeah.
legal issues we have to deal with?
Like Dustin said, on the north side, he would be okay as far as the setbacks go, but my concern is still, the parking, trying to go around it and having to back out. I just don't see the space.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if I didn't known, I'd have drawn a circle there and took a video for you, but I'm
Sure.
sure there's plenty of room.
Well, that's what that's the questions we have here, if we're not ready to vote on it, because we're not sure of how it's gonna affect the parking.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna put this up. If you want to table it, and I will get some more pictures
Well, I didn't say that.
before putting it on there. I don't know if that's possible or not. I can come back next month.
I do have a concern about the safety. There's a lot of kids around that area. There's a lot of people around that area that might wanna take a dip, but
Not
like
a
I
whole lot
said,
of,
there's,
I don't see a whole lot of kids. I see a lot of,
there's a lot of people in that area, let's say.
Adults,
But that's not the variance that we're
right.
applying for here, right? Or that we're voting on. What we're voting on is the variance for the parking lot and how much it encroaches on the total space and so forth.
Yeah. Like I said, I can always make videos and come back and
Sure.
show you the area and, go with that. But it's up to you guys. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
so, go ahead.
I was just going to ask one question related to, I guess this is probably the staff, for a previously passable entranceway into a commercial lot, as was on Indiana Avenue, is there a restriction to put in barriers to then block that? It's been like that since the 50s, essentially. Do you have to get permission to put concrete barriers like there are there now?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe
is a good
Kim would
question.
know. I think it would be something that would be worked through the traffic division of RPD, if I had to guess. But we had wondered the same thing regarding the Indiana Avenue barriers.
Can he even put a fence out there that close to the,
Because you are kind of decommissioning a driveway into the property, and I'm not sure offhand if there is more of a
at the
process to
same
that.
time, and if we're in supposition mode right now, right? If the display is moved to the north side and the barriers are removed and there is no fence, because now it's out of traffic flow, if you will, does that make things better? And I'm gonna ask it a different question, same way, but in a different manner of, let's take the swimming pool question out. And if he was a lawnmower shop, would we have the same concerns if he put 6 riding mowers out there? Either on the corner or is it, or are we getting stuck on, it's a pool display with maybe a, you know, conspicuous hazard or something like that because it's a pool?
I think the same would apply. It would impede the parking lot in the same way. I mean, one of the requirements is that you can't have dead-end drive. So I think that's one reason to keep, at least 2 curb cuts open, because I think it's difficult. Even if we sort of decommission the north end and you have just the one entrance, you're still doing a kind of U-turn when you get to the west of the property.
Isn't there 2 then? There's 2 on Northwest Fifth, 2 entrances on Northwest Fifth.
Right, but I would think that putting the pool on the north end of the property essentially eliminates one of those.
No,
But then if he took the barriers down, didn't put the fence up, he'd still have the access off of Indiana Avenue and Northwest Fifth.
I mean, that would seem like you're getting closer to something that's conforming, yes.
the building, the pool is actually going to be fairly close to the building, so it's not going to impede the Fifth Street, or the Fifth Street entrance on either end of it.
I think that just based off of
The
discussions.
barriers are simply there because I don't want people driving through the parking lot at 30 miles an hour cutting that corner.
Based off of discussions that we had with RPD, I think that they would not want traffic coming in through here if there's a swimming pool in that proximity.
I'm going to propose to my fellow council that we take this back to putting display at the north end, to RPD, who had the biggest concerns, putting the display at the north end, and Mr. Termino, you need to, we've already got one written commitment. I would like, English language just went away for a minute. I would like to propose that when we hear this next month, that we add a couple of more written commitments. We move the display to the north side. We have a 2-foot buffer zone between your fence and your pool. The fence, the barrier fence becomes 6 foot tall, and you get a 15-foot display.
Okay.
So would we need to re-advertise for the fence height then? We don't, I mean, we've had public hearings, so we don't need to advertise for this other part again, but if you're adding a variance, it's essentially adding a variance for the fence height, that would need to be advertised as well.
Yeah, I think that would be an additional variance request, yeah.
Would that be today's deadline then? For that,
Actually, it's next Wednesday's the deadline for,
so you would have time to advertise it for next month's hearing? I'm looking to you guys, thumb up, thumb down, yay, nay. We don't have to do it, we can take a vote tonight.
I think it increases safety, but I don't think that's the question we're having, but I think it would be a good written commitment, but even if we do that, we're still going to have issues with the amount of parking spaces that we have there, but.
For any business, anything that wanted to be there.
Yeah, it could be,
The lot's
a restaurant.
non-conforming to-
Right, but, okay. And you're proposing, or you're saying we're going to table this, or we're going to set it for next month?
That's kind of where we're at right now.
Come back with-
So,
Because I would like to see how much space, you're throwing some numbers out here based on the length of cars and so forth. When I ask about the total size, and here we have
Prepared for
12,000.
that move of shift over there because it was my understanding that I had to meet all these setbacks. I didn't come prepared to actually move the pool over there, which is actually a better location for the pool.
Okay.
The reason I did that was because they told me it had to be 40 feet from here and 40 feet from here and 40 feet from there, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're
That's
not
what I
getting 40
thought.
feet
So
from
if I can do it, in that corner parking lot, that'd be fun, that would be
Yeah,
great.
we'll still, I mean, we'll still have to, excuse me, abide by those setback rules.
Right.
But it's only 5 feet, right?
I have 5 or 6
10 from
feet
the
because my
side.
property
10
line.
feet from the side, 5 feet from the front.
Property line, and you can't really see it. You can't really see it up there, but my property line goes to that telephone pole, basically. Well, almost, it's a little bit, it's almost 5 feet there, 5 or 10 feet on the other side of that building.
Okay.
All right, so it's like cutting it off, but it's shady, and shadow. And there was, pictures, and I don't know where I seen them, they were from some other site that does the drop-down pictures with a whole lot more cars in a way spread out, area on there that didn't quite even have any parking. When I pulled it up.
What's the council's pleasure?
Well, do we make a motion to table it, or do you just table it?
We can just table it, but are we gonna table it to take it back with the additional written commitments and RPD's revisit? So, let me make the motion,
So you
then we
could,
can vote.
yeah, you could
right?
do two separate motions. You could do a motion to table it, but then you could, before you table it, you could also do a motion to add a written commitment or a set of written commitments, with the understanding, though, that with the fence height adjustment, that has to be advertised anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
so my written commitment additions or to move the display to the north side location that we've been discussing. There is a 2-foot buffer space between the barrier fence and the pool display. The fence gets raised to a 6-foot height, and the display is no bigger than 15 feet. With that,
You're just amending, you're just asking that those commitments be added to,
the existing petition.
yeah, without approving the petition.
That is correct.
Okay.
And then we're going to table that until we get additional staff report from RPD.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to advertise for next month meeting because of the additional variance I just added with the written commitment of a 6-foot fence.
So since you articulated that first part, can you guys second that part, and then that way, that will be added without necessarily approving the petition, and then do the table? as a
You're asking us to, I made a motion to add these written commitments, and you're asking them to second that.
Are we gonna vote on this?
I-
Only to add the written commitments.
Only
not
to
for
add the written
petition.
commitment. It's not to approve the petition or deny the petition. It's just to add the written commitments to the proposal.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion to add the written commitments as articulated, and we have a second. Call the roll, please.
Nathan Sheets,
Aye.
Rob Tidrow,
Aye.
Jeff Cook.
Aye. Okay. We're gonna move on to the next petition.
Well, can you do a
Okay.
real quick motion to table?
Oh, yeah, we need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table BZA 9-2025.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to table BZA 9-2025. Call the roll.
Nathan Sheets,
Aye.
Rob Tidrow,
Aye.
Jeff Cook.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got all our Robert's rules going now?
Close enough.
Thanks, Jim.
Next up on our agenda, we have BZA 12-2025. Get to the right page. Gordon, I think this is you. No? Yes?
720 Northwest L.
720 Northwest L. Sorry, it's a petition of L Street Materials, Kent Mikesell. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Kent Mikesell, I live at 652 New Garden Road, New Paris, Ohio. The address, property address is 720 Northwest L here in Richmond.
Tell us about your request.
The request is to move the entrance that is on Northwest L. This business has been there for many, many years, as far as that goes. It is kind of a residential street. It is kind of narrow. I can't, what do I want to say? I can't keep trucks from going up and down Northwest L. I don't think there's any way I'm ever going to stop that. I'd like to eliminate some of them and put an entrance in on 11th Street around the corner. 11th Street is a commercial street. Northwest L is, it's not really commercial, it's residential / commercial. On my side it's commercial, on the other side it's residential. But I'm just trying to alleviate some heavy traffic going up and down Northwest L. That was our thinking, and that's what we have in mind. Neighbors have been good to me. We keep the place up, well mowed. I don't know, like I said, we're just trying to make things better out that way.
Where on Northwest 11th are you proposing your driveway?
What's that, sir?
When you're proposing a driveway entrance on Northwest 11th,
Yes.
where we're at, I mean, it's a long
It's
property.
like 200 and, I got it marked out 250 feet off of Northwest L to the north.
So almost right across from the distribution.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're wanting that driveway to be, according to the petition, 100 feet wide? Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm not seeing this, but is this a replacement for the old driveway?
It
Or,
would be in the end.
So can I ask that same question differently? If we approve this petition, would you eventually abandon then the driveway entrance on Northwest L?
Yes. Eventually.
Define eventually for me. 6 months, 6 years, 600 years?
I would hope within, I mean, this is gonna be very expensive for us to get this done, getting a bridge or whatever across that creek and this, that, and the other, so, I can't say within a year, but I would say within 2 years,
I'm just asking for a general
Yes.
timeline.
yes.
Any other questions of the petitioner?
Yes.
Please.
I have a question. So, okay, so what are we voting for here? The variance for the existing driveway, it's currently what, 45 feet wide? And he's asking to go to 100 feet, right?
45 is the standard
The sta-
for a non-residential driveway.
Okay.
And
He's at
asking
88.
For 100 feet.
Okay.
For the wide turns for the big trucks, the semis and things.
So it's currently, his driveway on Northwest L Street is 88.55 feet wide,
Right.
and asking to increase that to 100. That's what,
Not the one on Northwest L. The one on Northwest L is the 88.54. He's asking for, on Northwest 11th, he's asking for 100 feet.
okay.
and you said 250 feet from the intersection on Northwest L?
Yes.
And it kind of shows it on this page here,
Yeah.
kind of breaks down the measurements.
Okay.
Dustin, what was that measurement you just made across the street?
About 90 feet
90 feet?
across the
So
street.
similar, a little wider.
So the proposed variance will allow for an increase of non-residential, I'm reading from the variance portion here of your staff report. So go from 45 feet to 100 feet, and that is for, whatever street that is. I'm sorry.
Northwest 11th.
Northwest 11th, okay, because I didn't see that listed there. So the one that's on Northwest L, the next sentence, existing driveway is 88.55 feet, and he's not asking to increase that at all, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions of the petitioner? No. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have another one. If he was just going to build a standard driveway there that meets the standards, would it be coming to this board?
No.
Or Northwest 11th?
He would,
Okay.
it would just be a 45-foot.
He could just put it on there, be done with it, but we're asking, okay. 'Cause, I guess when I read this, I didn't understand that he was going to actually add this Northwest 11th, and that's where he wants the variance of 100.
Correct.
Wide, okay. Just clarification on that, but, I mean, that would be nicer to have it there as opposed to probably where it is now, but, okay. Thank you. Sorry, Jeff.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Mr. President.
Thank you. This time I'll open up public hearing for BZA 12-2025 for anybody that wants to speak in opposition or in favor. And we'll close public hearing for BZA 12-2025 and hear the staff report.
The petition of L Street Materials Incorporated, Kent Meixel, owner and agent, location 720 Northwest L in Richmond, requesting a variance of development standards to exceed the maximum non-residential driveway width in the high-intensity zoning district. The use is mines and quarries. The zoning is high-intensity industrial, I-2. The lot size is big, 47.54 acres. The zoning to the north is high-intensity industrial I-2. To the south is medium single-family residential R2. To the east is I-2 and medium single-family residential R2. To the west is high-intensity industrial I-2. The land use to the north is Belden Distribution Center and L Street Materials. To the south is residential single-family 17 properties. To the east, residential single-family 18 properties. And to the west is TSN East Midwest Distribution Center and the Air Gas USA LLC. We're looking, the maximum non-residential driveway width is 45 feet, according to the UDO. The variance, proposed variance would allow for an increase of a non-residential driveway from 45 feet up to 100 feet in width to provide easier access for semis and large trucks on Northwest 11th. I'm sorry I didn't put that in there. The existing driveway on Northwest L is approximately 88.55 feet and directly adjacent to residential homes. On June 26th, 42 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance and the public hearing by mail. June 25th, 2025, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News.
We received 6 responses, 4 with comments. Geraldine Toney, 721 Northwest L Street, in favor. Phyllis Cozart, 707 Northwest L, in favor. Melvin T. Slusher, 717 Northwest L. You have plenty of ground and you, on your side of the road. Not been any problem in over 60 years except all the dust in the wind. L. Andrew Flowers, 611 Northwest L. I support this motion. This does not affect my property. Thank you. Dave Feltz, 608 Northwest L Street. Attached is my questionnaire in opposition to the proposed variance petition for 720 Northwest L Street. I oppose the position for the following reasons. My concerns with the variance petition is that dump trucks heading to and from 720 Northwest L Street already contribute to the annoying and possibly unsafe traffic conditions on Northwest L Street, and this situation will likely get worse if the new driveway is built. Fully loaded dump trucks carrying material into and out of 720 Northwest L Street travel the residential areas of Northwest L daily. Like a lot of traffic on this road, they appear to exceed the posted 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. Residents like me already have to back out of our driveways into traffic moving faster than it should. Increasing the driveway width at 720 Northwest L to allow for more and larger dump trucks and semi-trucks will likely worsen an already bad situation. I saw in the variance petition where the business owner states that commercial traffic will move away from Northwest L to Northwest 11th, where the proposed driveway is to be located, but I do not believe that will be the case. We currently have significant semi-truck traffic traveling on Northwest L to get to the commercial properties on Northwest 11th. Yes, those heavy trucks travel the residential areas on Northwest L to get to industrial Northwest 11th. They do not travel Progress Drive to Northwest 11th as they should. Why should I believe that traffic to and from the new driveway will magically move to Progress Drive to get to Northwest 11th? Instead, heavy truck traffic is likely to become even worse as more and larger vehicles travel Northwest L to get to Northwest 11th. In summary, I oppose the proposed variance petition for 720 Northwest L Street, BZA 12-2025, because it will likely worsen the already heavy, large vehicle traffic and vehicle speeding problems that we have to live with in this residential section of Northwest L Street.
Staff recommends approving the application to exceed the maximum non-residential driveway standards up to 100 feet in length. Upon these findings of facts, the approval of the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because a wider driveway would significantly enhance safety for all vehicles entering and exiting, especially for semi-trucks that require more space for turns. Number two, the use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the requested variance is compatible with existing neighborhood use, which is I-2. Number three, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because the existing driveway on Northwest L is approximately 88.55 feet and is directly adjacent to residential homes, and adding a second driveway to the north on Northwest 11th Street will result in less commercial traffic on Northwest L Street. No written commitments. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions of the staff? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve BZA 12-2025 based on the staff report
In finding of facts?
and finding the facts.
Second.
With caveat is to build a new entryway on Northwest 11th Street.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second to approve BZA 12-2025 based on the staff report and finding of facts. Call the roll, please.
Nathan Sheets,
Aye.
Rob Tidrow,
Aye.
Jeff Cook.
Aye. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
BZA 13-2025. 1028 Butler Street and 31 Northwest J Street. Hi, Gordon.
Good evening. Gordon Moore, here as the Wayne County Surveyor tonight, not the other Gordon Moore, so. This property that we're dealing with was owned by the Wayne County Commissioners and went up for tax sale. Then it was transferred to the city of Richmond, and they transferred it to Bridges for Life. And this is an organization that creates opportunities for people to learn a trade and go back out into the working system. With us tonight is Mr. Jeff Holdhouse, representing Bridges for Life, and I know he can answer a lot more questions if you had concerns about or questions regarding Bridges of Life. This is my first dealings with them. But the commissioners asked us to put together a boundary survey that would split this existing lot into two sections of 2 tracts. And doing so, we created 2 new tracts that are under the minimum requirement of 5,000 square feet. Track 1 will have approximately 3,300 square feet. Track 2, approximately 560 square feet. They have been renovating these homes, and once they are completed, then they will transfer and put these properties up for sale. This subdivision dates back to the late 1800s. I looked back, I think that staff had reported that one of them was built in 1920, 1930. They've been basically not changed during that period. I started at the 1940 aerials, historical aerials, and the only change I could see is where we're putting the new property line. At one time, there was a garage there. Which home it served, I don't know, but the division line that we have created is in between 2 existing small concrete pads. So, again, the variance that we're requesting these 2 lots be approved for under the 5,000 square feet. So if you have questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
So there are existing homes that are being renovated today.
Correct. They have already commenced on the work. In fact, I was on the site approximately a month and a half ago, and they were working primarily at that time on the eastern track. But I know that the plan is to do both houses and, again, make them available for transfer or sale.
With the new property line, or I guess those are rear yard setbacks? Are they okay?
Well, they would be grandfathered in because we could not move the rear yard without taking property from
There's
the
that.
adjacent property owner. So
Good point.
the only new division line that we're going to have is the one in the middle, dividing the 2 lots, or the track into 2 tracks.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I guess I have a question for Bridges for Life. The,
Sir, will you come up and state your name and address for the record, please?
Jeff Holthouse, 40 Waterfall Road, Richmond.
currently, the ones, could you talk about what your service or your business does or your not-for-profit? And are they utilizing the manpower that he spoke of to help renovate these properties right now, or are you using a different?
Thank you for your question. I'd love to tell you all about the program.
Because I went online to look, and it looks like you're doing some very positive.
Oh, we're sure
Outreach.
trying. And we see some really positive benefits. So what happened is the commissioners were kind enough to provide the confidence in us to start this program called Building Together. I've been in the building business for 40 years plus and feel very qualified to teach these skills. And so we are getting people that are basically in rehab, rehabilitation from drugs, and we're using those opioid settlement funds to teach them the building trades. And we've had some really good success. Guys graduate the program and go on to work.
Right.
And so in fact, every single person that's graduated the program has gone out and got a job. So I think it is working. Second to that, if you can call it second, it's a great byproduct. We have taken 3 homes now in a year, and the last one, 31 Northwest J, is in the drywall stage. We've totally it had no electric, no plumbing, great big holes in the floor, leaking roofs, just blight, straight up blight. And those homes are now, like I say, 31 Northwest J will be a 2-bedroom home, with a very nice kitchen, a full laundry room, a full bath. 1028 Butler Street was, wow, a mess. Had a person living in it when we received that property, and we actually got them relocated because Bridges for Life works with individuals that need help. And so that person relocated, and we found out what the house was like and have worked a great deal on it. All three homes have brand-new roofs. They're going to make, all three homes are restored to the point they have furnaces, not baseboard heat. They all have robust electric, will allow for air conditioner units to be put on in every window. So in other words, proper amperage. And all the while teaching building trades in every aspect, from plumbing to electrical to carpentry, drywall, you name it. I do not have the guys on the roofs, however, I subbed them. So I see our ideal is to help Richmond at the same time. And I believe personally that if we keep these homes on the same lot, one or the other is going to end up becoming blighted again. So I desire personally to help individuals in the city with affordable housing. Cross Hall, 1217 Cross Hall, was a home that burnt. It was unoccupied for 7 years. We got a hold of it, and it has, we get inspected. Everything we do passes inspection with local inspection. And 1028 has sold. We're waiting on quiet title for it. And it will be a family man living there. And that home sold for $69,900. Right in the heart of our city that really needs to have individual home ownership. We had the opportunity to sell it quickly to someone that was going to rent it, and it required that we go through some hoops as an organization to provide the necessary ingredients to do an FHA loan for this individual. We did that so that it maintains private ownership. Because we're not trying to generate rental properties, we're trying to generate single-family homes.
So in this case, it'd be two separate homes, two separate
Yes, sir.
lots, and you would end up selling them, right? Or the
That's
idea would
correct.
be to sell them. Okay, well, thank
And
you
all the money would go right back into the program.
for the program. Thank
Yep.
you. I appreciate what you're doing, or what I've heard, so.
Any other questions?
Jeff, good to see you. Curious, you did mention concern. I mean, one of the motivating factors of this variance of splitting the lots is concern that one may end up blighted again. I just wanted to clarify why.
Well, it's more than that too, Nathan, and I appreciate the question. That neighborhood, and you guys know them all, is really in need of some private ownership, so to speak. And I think it's highly likely that if we don't separate these properties, it ends up sooner or later going to a landlord. Also, we kind of don't accomplish the mission of single-family ownership that we're going for to create the pride in the neighborhood and try and make it safer. Additionally, I think we'll get more from the properties, but that's a secondary thing if they're separated, which allows for more money to plow into the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll open up public hearing for BZA 13-2025 for anybody speaking favor or opposition to the petition. And we'll close public hearing for BZA 13-2025 and hear the staff report.
Petition of Bridges for Life Incorporated, owner Gordon Moore, agent, location 1028 Butler Street, 31 Northwest J Street in Richmond. requesting a variance of development standards to seek relief from minimum lot area size in the urban residential zoning district. The lot size is 6,863.63 square feet, 0.0158 acres. The zoning in all directions, urban residential. The land use, all direction is residential, single family. The urban residential development standard that we're seeking relief from, section 214, minimum lot area is usually 5,000 square feet for an urban residential lot. The variance would split this parcel into two, will create two individual parcels under 5,000 square feet minimum, which is specified in the UDO. Specifically, the parcel 1 will be 3,303.23 square feet. Parcel 2 will be 3,560.41 square feet. A little on the background, the property was platted in 1865 as part of the J.W. Newman's addition. Two single-family dwellings were built on the property, one in 1920 and another in 1930. These properties have been used as rentals for the last 20 years. On June 26, 2025, 42 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance in public hearing by mail. On June 25, 2025, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News.
We received two responses in favor. Jimmy Newton, 3944 US 27 South, in favor. Daniel M. Groth, ED of Good News Habitat for Humanity, 1027 Sheridan Street, in favor.
The planning staff consulted with all city departments and utilities to determine any objections based on the public health and safety. No other objections were raised. Staff recommends approving the petition to allow two parcels that are less than minimum lot size to be split off of a parcel in the urban residential zoning district upon these findings of facts. Number one, the approval of the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the current parcel holds two single-family dwellings, and splitting the parcel into two separate parcels would not negatively impact the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the proposed variance will not substantially adverse affect the use and value of the adjacent properties. This is due to the existing single-family dwellings undergoing significant improvements before being sold as separate entities.
5.
I'll make a motion to approve BZA 13-2025 based on finding of facts in the staff report.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for BZA 13-2025, based on the staff report and finding of facts. Call the roll, please.
Nathan Sheets.
Aye.
Rob Tidrow.
Aye.
Jeff Cook.
Aye. Good luck. Last on our agenda tonight is BZA 15-2025, which is Wawa Development and a sign standard variance. Is the petitioner here?
Yes. Thank you. My name is Patrick Moon. I'm with Wawa, 5929 Broadway Street, Indianapolis. And we're here asking for a variance on our travel center sign, which is larger than permitted by code. I think more has to do with, I guess our interpretation, typically it's the advertising space, the name, and the pricing, which would typically be used for signage. But the staff's interpretation, and I understand where they're coming from. Since it's a solid wedge, the sign, they count the entire area, so it's about 270 square feet. Roughly just take the advertising space, we're about 125. I did a rough calculation. I don't have the exact dimensions, but 125 square feet for the signage. So we're just asking for a variance for that sign. We did consider some other options, primarily a highway sign, which would be like 150 feet in the air, but we did some analysis. It's only visible from one direction on the interstate. We just didn't think it was economically feasible, and it's $750 to $1 million to construct that, so we just didn't think that was feasible. So wanted to go with a 27-foot high pylon sign at the entrance to the property, and just hoping we can get that installed for our advertising purposes.
Questions to the petitioner?
Not at this point.
Thank you. With that, we'll open up public hearing to BZA 15-2025 for anybody wishing to speak in favor or opposition. We'll close public hearing for BZA 15-2025. Here's staff report.
Thank you. The petition of 3C Investments LLC owner Tina Akuri, agent, which she could not make it tonight. Location is at 2600 Williamsburg Pike in Richmond, Indiana. Requesting a variance of development standards to seek relief from maximum sign area standards in the high-intensity industrial zoning district. The lot size is 451,368.72 square feet, total of 10.362 acres. The zoning to the north is the high-intensity industrial, to the south, high-intensity industrial, to the east, the same, to the west is medium-density, single-family, R2, and institutional, which is IS. The land use to the north is residential, single-family, 5 properties, and a commercial business of Anderson Auto Group. To the south is residential, single-family, 5 properties, and also commercial Camping World. To the east, commercial D&J Homes. To the west is a residential single-family, and there's also a church, the First Southern Missionary Baptist Church. The UDO section variance that we're looking at for maximum, maximum ground signage is 120 square feet, and a maximum ground sign height is 8 feet. The variance will be, the petitioner is requesting a variance for the proposed ground sign for the new business, Wawa. The sign is designed to be 330.75 square feet and 27 feet in height. On June 26, 2025, 36 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance and the public hearing by mail. On June 25th, 2025, the public hearing was advertised in the Western Wayne News, and I believe we did get one response.
Response, Mayor Ron Oler, Wawa will bring motorists off the interstate onto city streets and will increase business activity in the area.
The planning staff consulted with all city departments and utilities to determine any objections based on public health and safety. No objections were raised. Staff recommends approving the petition to exceed the maximum ground sign height and square footage. Upon these findings of facts, number 1, the approval of the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the proposed ground sign is designed and located to enhance visibility and safety for motorists traveling at higher speeds along a busy commercial corridor. By providing clear, timely identification of the business location, the sign reduces the likelihood of sudden braking, unsafe turning movements, and distracted driving. The sign is professionally designed to be aesthetically consistent with the character of nearby commercial properties, contributing positively to the visual environment rather than detracting from it. It does not contain or promote any content that would be considered morally objectionable or contrary to community standards. The proposed variance supports commercial vitality in the area without compromising public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. Number 2, the use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the proposed ground sign is consistent with the commercial corridor of the surrounding area and is designed to complement neighboring properties rather than detract from them. It will not block visibility, access, or light for adjacent businesses or properties. In fact, by increasing in visibility and traffic to the businesses, the sign may contribute to increased commercial activity in the area, indirectly benefiting nearby establishments. The petitioner states that the sign's location and design have been carefully considered to avoid clutter or obstruction, and it complies with all safety and construction standards. It will not diminish the use or enjoyment of adjacent properties, nor will it negatively impact their market value. They state that it will support a cohesive and vibrant commercial district. Number 3, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because without the variance, the business would be unable to adequately advertise its presence to motorists, which would lead to reduced customer access and economic viability. The requested sign dimensions are the minimum necessary to overcome these site-specific challenges, such as this particular area being known for its high traffic in all directions. The increased size will ensure the business can function competitively and safely. The purpose of this variance is to ensure effective visibility and identification for Wawa. The business is located along a high-traffic corridor with multiple lanes and higher driving speeds. A taller and larger sign is essential to provide adequate notice and visibility for motorists, particularly given the setback of the building from the road and the presence of other visual obstructions such as power lines, utility poles, and adjacent commercial signage. We do have one written commitment. If approved, all signs must meet setback standards and landscaping requirements of location, the landscaping, the quantity of shrubs and plants, and the landscaping due to the double-sided ground sign. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions to the staff? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve BZA 15-2025 with written commitments based on the staff report and finding of facts.
A second?
A motion and a second to approve BZA 15, 2025 based on the staff report and written commitments. Call the roll, please.
Nathan Sheets,
Aye.
Rob Tidrow,
Aye.
Jeff Cook.
Aye. Motion carries. Good luck to you. The filing deadline for today's July 9th meeting was June 11th. The filing deadline for next month, August 13th, 2025 hearing is July the 16th, 2025. And we know we have at least one. And
We have
now-
at least one, yes.
Now we have maybe more?
Well, yes, plus one. We have a new one and then the tabled one.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.